everyone, welcome to your Rise Anytime Reformer workout. My name's Laura and today I'm going to be taking you through a dynamic class. So all we need is a set of hand weights and our reformer. So let's get into it. Coming down, let's change our springs for some double leg footwork. So let's go at least 3 full springs for your double legs, and then adding on any more as you please. So grabbing those hand weights that we've brought along with us, lying ourselves down, heels on the foot bar, roughly hip distance apart. We're going to start with elbows in by our side, holding on to our hand weights, ready to give them a punch to the ceiling. So when you're ready, flex your toes back towards your face, and then let's get moving. Push the carriage out, punch the weights to the ceiling, and then bend your knees, bend your elbows, return. Excellent. So let's start to find just our gentle, natural rhythm here. Elbows tapping the carriage as we return, and then tuning in, giving those toes a big flex back towards your face. Nice. Okay, from here, let's start to pick up the pace slightly. So a little bit quicker. And we're still bringing the carriage all the way into the stoppers. Awesome. Okay, from here, we're going to take it into a little bit of an arm sequence today. So we're going to do 1 punch to the ceiling. Next time your knees bend, can you take your elbows wide for a chest press as the carriage comes in? Push away, and then go back to your narrow row. So we go 1 wide as the knees bend, 1 narrow as the knees bend. Great. So sometimes that can be a little bit of brain-body coordination. So just take your time getting into that pattern. But once your body kind of picks it up, you go into that natural rhythm. Okay, now if that was enough for you, feel free to stay here. However, after that wide chest press row, let's add a tricep drop. So we bend the elbows, weights back at your head as you bend the knees, press back out, keep it going. So we now have 3 arm movements happening each time we bend the knees. So we go 1 narrow, 1 wide, whoops, and then 1 tricep. Almost there. Now, if you have done a little bit of a different pattern, that is absolutely fine. We're still getting those legs burning. I know, we're not here for long. Let's go 10 more counts. We're going to hold halfway. Excellent. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, holding halfway here. Just those arms. Narrow, chest press, tricep drop. Keep it going. Now, can you check in with the lower body? Push the carriage out a smidge further as you keep those arms moving. Good, so we want to find that sweet spot through the lower body. We're not here for long. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, press waist to the ceiling. Let's go little pulses through the heels. So we're pushing the carriage up an inch, down an inch. Still keep your toes flexing back towards your face. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push all the way out and then shuffle down onto your tippy toes. Excellent. Now lift up as high as you can. We're going to go for double leg calf raises with an arm fly. So we lower both heels under the foot bar, take your arms wide to the side, and then lift up onto your tippy toes, hands to the ceiling. So straight arms, straight legs the whole time. We lower the heels, arms go wide, and then rise up onto those tippy toes. So we're now taking it into the back of the legs. Excellent. Now, again, if this is enough for you, stick with this. If you would like a little bit more, next time you rise up onto your tippy toes, can we add a pulse? So little pulse, 1, 2, and then we drop, lower down. Rise up, little pulse, and then we lower. So we should really start to feel that heat burn through the back of the legs. Great. We're not here for long. Good. Nice and wide, as high as you can, little pulse. Okay, we're gonna hold it up in 10, just those little pulses. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, lift up, hold, hold, hold. Can you take your arms back out wide in that hold? Little pulses, up, up, up. Just for 10 here. We're gonna bring our hands to the ceiling into our prancing horse, walking it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, oh, that burn, hands to the ceiling, pedal it out. I know what you're thinking. God, it's just the warm up. Okay, can we alternate a tricep drop with that prance? So one heel lowers under, then the other, like you're going for a nice little quick brisk walk in the morning or evening, whenever you choose. Okay, let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knees, bring the carriage in. Now, shuffle yourselves away from the shoulder pads. We're gonna come straight into a little bit of core work next. So, taking your legs up to the ceiling, weights at your chest, we're going to go for a crunch here. Now, punch your weights to your toes, lift up as high as you can, and then lower back down, weights to chest. Good, keep it going. Reaching up to your toes and back down. Now, keep this going. If that's a little bit too much for you, you can always bend your knees, and we can always bring our heels back down onto the foot bar as an extra regression if need be, and just go for those punches with our heels down or in tabletop, legs to the ceiling, if that's you. Okay, now with that leg to the ceiling variation, can we start to lower one leg as you crunch up? That's it, then the other side. Leg lower, back down. Excellent. Back down. Now, as we lift, can we take the opposite hand to the leg that's still to the ceiling? Yes. So it's starting to really get into those obliques. Back down. See how low you can get that free leg. Excellent. Oh, that free leg is not going any lower on that side. Okay, we're not here for long. Let's go 10 more counts. We're going to hold it up. Whew. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, hold up here. Good, now quick little punches to your opposite ankle. Can you lower your legs? Can you lift a little higher? Yes, can you make those arms a little bit quicker? Let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We get a stretch in 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Lower down. Pop the weights off to the side. Let's stretch it out. Whew. Now, heels onto the foot bar, holding onto your shoulder blocks. Windscreen wiping our knees from one side of the room, up and over to the other side. Just getting that beautiful stretch through the lower body. Turning your head the opposite way to your knees, getting that nice big stretch through the back of your neck as well. Excellent. And I don't know about you, but I'm definitely warm. Okay, rolling yourselves on up. We're gonna come straight into a little bit of leg work next today. So, spring change, we're gonna go nice and heavy into some side splits and then into some lunges. So, one full spring is your level 1 option. A full spring and a quarter, so a little bit more, is going to be your level 2 option. So on here, that is a red spring and then a red adding a yellow. I'm also going to lower the foot bar on my machine just so it's slightly out of the way. And then grabbing your hand weights if you choose today. Excellent. Okay, so coming on up, we want to stand on our platform first and then taking your opposite foot onto your carriage. Excellent. Hands down by your side. And then let's just start with our side split. So we're going to send the carriage away and then we're going to close back in. Excellent. Now, if you notice, my feet here are as close to the edge as possible. So that means that the spring tension is going to be nice and heavy. And if it does start to get a little bit too much, we can always go a little bit wider on the carriage to lighten the load. Okay, let's get into our arms. So, sending the carriage out, we're going to punch up to the ceiling. As we close, can we circle the arms down and around to the hips? Go again, we press out, we punch, We circle down around to the hips. Excellent. Big push out, circle down and around. Now, like I mentioned, if it is a little too heavy, you can always go a little bit closer towards your shoulder pads. Excellent. So it's kind of like you're doing a nice big breaststroke arm circle as we punch out. Excellent. So with these heavier springs, you will feel it more through the outer quads and glutes. That's what we're targeting here, those outer muscles. Nice and heavy, big press. Excellent. Okay, let's start to add on from here. So next time you press out, pause. We're gonna add that arm circle while we hold, then we close it back in. Whew. Keep it going. Big press, circle, close back in. So there's no rush on that return phase. That's the harder effort. We're fighting the resistance as we close the carriage. Okay, keep it going. Circles and close. Few more here, keep it going. Whew. Excellent. Now, try and keep your shoulders stacked here. So I can feel on myself even, I'm trying to flare to compensate. So we just want that nice little tuck as we hold out. Excellent. Let's go 5. We are gonna hold it out. Good. Last 3, last 2. Press out, hold, weights at your chest here, weights at your chest. Excellent. Let's go for some rotations here. So we're gonna punch the weight across the chest while we're holding. Good, can we start to pick up the pace here? So a little bit quicker, out, 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 just for 8. We're gonna bring it in and we're gonna pivot straight into a lunge facing the foot bar. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, zip it on in. And then do a nice little pivot to face the foot bar. So that same away foot is now on your platform. Can you bring your toes nice and close to the edge of your carriage? So same springs here. 1 full spring, 1 red on my machine is your level 1 option. Adding that quarter, that yellow spring, is going to be a little bit more. Okay, now arms down by your side. Get that back leg nice and straight. Let's go for a tippy bird lunge. So we come down, we hold, and then we come back up, press to the ceiling. Rinse and repeat. Lower down, get your weights as low as you can go, and then lift back up to the ceiling. Keep it going. Now, our lunge position here is a little heavier than what we would be standing on the floor, purely because our foot placement is a lot closer to the springs. So with that heavier spring load, you're actually pushing a heavier load with your foot this close up towards the platform. Just a little FYI for everybody at home. Okay, keep it going. Back up to the ceiling. Let's start to layer on here. So next time we come down, stay low. We're gonna add a low row, bend your knee in for a scooter, weights drop down, leg presses out, then come back up to stand. So there's no rush with this. We lower down, low row, scoot in, press out, come up to stand. Excellent, let's go 10 more counts like this, and then we're gonna hold it down, just our scooters. I don't know about you, but my butt is on fire. Good. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, just those scooters. Everything in, everything out. That's it. Get as low as you can go. And then if you'd like a little bit more, we can go back to that wide row like we did in our warm-up, and then a narrow row. 1 wide row, 1 narrow. We're almost there. We're gonna hold it out in 10. Stay with me. Whew. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, press out, hold here, just those arms. Narrow row, wide row, hold it. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Whew. Have a little shake of those legs. Okay, pop your weights down. And then we're gonna come straight into a little bit of arm work. So let's lighten our spring load here. So 1/2 spring is going to be your level 1 option. 1/2 and 1/4 is your level 2. You might even want to go 1 full spring. Let's grab our short loops behind, and then taking our elbows in by our side, take your knees out nice and wide. Let's go for our offering arms here. So we're going to send the arms out in front, bend the elbows, carriage returns. Good. Keep it going. Okay, so if you would like a little bit more from here, keeping your knees nice and wide, just be careful on your first round. We're gonna lift up, high kneel, and then bring it all back down. Reach out, lift up, everything back in. Excellent. Let's start to add on a little bit more here. So with or without that lift, I'm gonna stay low for you for the first one. We're gonna take it into a fly. So arms out, hands wide, we close back in, carriage closes. So it's now 4 points with our arms. Reach out, we take them wide, we close, elbows back in. Keep it going. Out, wide, close, back in. Now you might already be doing that high kneel. If you are, keep it going. Otherwise, we can add it back in. So reach out, you can even lower your butt as your hands go wide, back down, whatever you're vibing today. Now, if you do feel like that's a little bit too much for you, you can always grab hold of the longer loops. They're just gonna be that little bit lighter without changing the springs. Keep it going. Wide, in, repeat. Excellent. Let's go 5. We're gonna hold those arms out wide. Last 4, last 3, last 2. Hands out, take them wide to the side, pause. Bring your hands slightly in front of your shoulders so that you can see them in your peripheral vision. And then let's draw little circles here today. So tiny little circles pressing forward one way for 5. We are gonna reverse them. I'm feeling that burn too. Last 3, last 2, back the other way. Circle back, I know, last 5, 4, we'll get a stretch in 3, 2, and 1. Pop those straps back. Crisscross those arms, just like a cat-cow here. Open your chest up to the ceiling as your hands go back. And then as we cross over, angry cat, pull your belly in, and then swapping over each time. Nice big stretch. Taking one hand across your chest, and then swapping to the other side. Okay, now, before we even out those legs, let's come into a little bit of plank work. So we're coming into a plank facing forward. We're gonna leave the foot bar as it is. So if you haven't dropped it down 1 notch, do so on your machine. And then spring change. So a 1/2 spring is your level 1 beginner option. A 1/4 spring, which is my yellow, is your level 2 intermediate option. No springs is your advanced option if you would like to really challenge yourself today. And then coming on to your platform, feet go back into your shoulder pads. We're gonna come into a 1/2 plank here. So finding your 1/2 plank first. Good, so we've got a straight line from your shoulders down to your knees. Let's go into a little bit of a walk here. So we're gonna take our hands down to the ground. We walk it out. We walk our hands back to our platform, and then we repeat. So this is your base layer. You can come back to this at any point. And then you can also have a stop, repeat when you're ready. Okay, a little bit more here. We go down onto the ground, walk back up onto your platform, walk up onto your foot bar, then repeat. Down, 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 up, up, up. Excellent. Harder again, we can take it into our full plank. So tucking those toes under, lifting up full plank. Let's get it. Hands down, nice big walk, back up. I always like to lead with the opposite hand each time as well. So just be mindful that we're not always starting with that same hand in our walk. Whew. Good, keep it going. I'm gonna drop back onto my knees for today. but keep going if you can in that full plank. Down, down, excellent. So just be mindful that we've got our hip bones dropping down still. What we'll tend to do in this position is kind of tuck the hips back, but we want to try and stay in that half plank or full plank so that our shoulders are getting that load as much as our core. All right, we're almost there, team. Let's go 5. We're gonna hold with our hands on the platform. Last 3, last 2, hands onto your platform, hold here. Hold, hold, hold. Now, even if you're in your half plank the whole time, can you lift up into your full plank? Good, we're not here for long. Let's go 10 seconds of knee tucks. Tuck in, slide out. Tuck in, slide out. You've got it. Let's go 5, 4, we'll get a child's pose in 3, 2, and 1. Knees down, walk your hands onto your platform, and then maybe out onto your railing. And then just drop your chest down. If you've done my classes before, I call this the Little Mermaid stretch. Lift your chest, look up at the ceiling like Ariel on the rocks, and then press straight back down into it. We're not here for long, so enjoy this juicy stretch. Feels so good. And then when you're ready, we need to even out those legs. So, little spring change for the other side. We're going back nice and heavy into our side splits first, into our arm circles. So 1 full spring was your level 1 beginner option. Red, full spring, adding on that quarter, which is that yellow spring on my machine, if you would like that little bit more. Grabbing those hand weights, this time facing away from the camera or the side that you haven't done yet. Starting with your feet as close to the edge as possible of each the platform and the carriage. And then let's get straight into it. So we punch up to the ceiling as we press out, and then we circle back down and around to bring it back in. Excellent. Punching up, big circle back down and around. So like I mentioned on the other side, maybe that slight tuck of your hips forward. So I call it like the Mr. Bean, where you're kind of like tucking more that way. Excellent. And trying to get that carriage as high up to the goalie posts as possible. So if you find that you are hitting all the way into those goalie posts, it means that you need to add an extra spring. You need to challenge yourself. Okay, keep it going. We're about to add that hold with our big swim. Okay, last 3, last 2. This one we hold it out at the arms, 1 circle, and then zip back up. Keep it going. Press out, circle. When I do this, I try and imagine that I am swimming in a pool and you've got the water pushing around as you zip back up. Kind of cools you down as well. Okay, keep this going. Excellent work. We're not here for long. You all know by now that that's a lie. Okay. Let's go 10 more counts. We've got those punches. We're gonna rinse and repeat on this side. Excellent. Let's go 3. Last 2. Last 1. Hold it out. Bring your weights to your chest. Press out as far as you can with the lower body. And then we've got those big rotation punches across the chest. So we want our hips to stay facing forward, but we're getting that punch across with the upper body. So your upper body can move here. We've got rotation happening. Good, let's go 5. Can we go a little bit quick with those punches? Last 4, last 3, last 2, last 1. Zip it on in. Now, keeping your feet where they are, we're gonna pivot to face the footbar. Now, this time bringing your toes right to the very edge of your carriage so you're as close up to the edge as possible. Good, okay. Back leg is straight, we bend through the front knee. We lower the weights down as we bend through the front knee, and then we punch to the ceiling as we close. So So we go all the way down, good, and then lift back up. So just a little reminder, you all keep going, but we want our toes to literally be curling around the edge here. So you've got a little bit of grip on the edge of your carriage, and it just makes pushing out all that bit easier. Excellent. So we're getting as low as we can in that front lunge. Weights going as low as we can into the well of your carriage. Beautiful. Okay, 10 more counts, and then we add that scooter and our row in. Nice. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, well, getting shaky. Coming on down, add the scooter, add the row. Everything in, everything back out, and then come up to close. Everything down, stay low, everything in, back out, come up to punch. Keep it going. Now it's really, really common to find that your balance is more challenged on one side to the other. So just throwing that out there, if you do find, like me, one side is easier than the other, it's really, really normal. Okay, if you did on the other side, let's alternate those arms. So we go one low row like we did before, then one wide, like a chest press, like we did in our warm-up. Down, row, press, wide, added a second one. You can do that if you want to. I didn't mean to do that then. Okay, one low row, coming on up, next one wide. 10 more counts. We hold down just those arms. Okay, last 3, last 2. Stay low on this one. I know that front leg is probably very shaky here. Good, just those arms, just our scooter. In and out, in and out. 10 more counts. I know, embrace the shakes. The shakes are good. The shakes mean we are getting stronger, we're improving, we're creating change in the body. We're making ourselves stronger. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, press out, hold just those arms. 10, keep it going. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, shake out those legs, pop your weights down to the ground. Okay, so a little bit of back work, and then we're going to finish with some legs in straps. So, changing our springs for our back work, we're going for our arm springs again. So like we did before, one half spring, which is my blue spring, as your beginner level 1 option. Adding on that quarter spring or whatever is on your machine to make it either a little bit heavier or a full spring. And then coming up, we're going to grab hold of our short loops, coming into a little bit of shoulder rotation first. So facing the back pulleys, we're going to grab hold of those short loops, hands pressed to our pockets, and then imagine you're being pulled up by a piece of string. So you're nice and tall through your spine. Open palms, and you should feel tension already. So with your hands already pushing back to your hips, we already feel tension. That's going to be our starting point. So we try and only come back to here if possible. Okay, from here, press behind, rotate your hands in towards one another, pull your shoulders back, and then just to your hips. So we've still got tension here. I know. Go again. Rotate back, and then just to your hips. Excellent. Rotate back, just to your hips. Can we add a little pulse as we rotate back? Pulse 1, 2, just to your hips. Keep it going. Now, we're not here for long. We are going to hold. Imagine that you've got an orange in between your shoulder blades and you're squeezing back to try and hold it there. Okay, short, quick series. Last 5, last 4, last 3, we are going to hold. Press back, hold, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good, now little pulses. Just for 5, we're going to take it in to our reverse flies. In 3, in 2, and 1. Little roll of those shoulders. Cross your straps over, so you're now holding the opposite one in each hand. Thumbs up, Now you can either start up high like we just were, or if you feel more comfortable, come into your low kneel. Okay, wide flies here. Take your arms wide, then we close. So again, that same feeling of pulling your shoulder blades back here. Excellent. You've also got the option to hold your ropes a little bit higher up for a little bit more load. So if you'd like it a little heavier, hold higher up the ropes. Again, the opposite way, if it's a little too heavy, take the longer straps. Okay, so we can also add that high to low kneel in as we take our arms wide. So we go nice big fly, lower the butt down as the hands go forward. Okay, holding it out in 5. We're almost there. We're going to finish with some beautiful legs in straps today. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. Just that bum tap, down and up, down and up. Good. Can you keep your arms a little wider? Whew, that is so strong on my shoulders. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Uncross those straps, pop them on the shoulder pads, rounding your back, holding onto those shoulder pads. Just have a little twist side to side here. You made it. Let's come into our legs in straps to finish. So let's go 2 full springs. If you would like a little bit more, you can go 2 full springs, adding your quarter, maybe adding in your half as well. We can go nice and heavy today. We're not doing anything overly fancy, just a really nice active stretch to finish. So lying yourselves back down, popping your heels onto your foot bar, push the carriage out, pop those feet into your long straps, and then starting with our double leg hamstring stretch here. So heels together, and then keeping your tailbone nice and heavy, let's lower the legs down to your foot bar and then back up to the ceiling. So we should feel that beautiful pull through the back of the legs. As you press down, can you flex your toes back towards your face? And then as you lift back up, can you point your toes to the ceiling? So that flex as we press down, we should just get a little bit more of a stretch through the hamstrings. If that's not you, that's absolutely fine. Okay, can we join our heels together so our feet are in a V? Still keep it going. And then let's take it into our big leg circles at the top. So big split open. Still keep that V as you circle the heels down and around together over the springs, and then lifting back up. Go again, big circle, toes flex back, toes point as you come back up to the ceiling. So we're still painting nice big brush strokes with our feet as we press down and around. And then next one, let's reverse. So this time we flex back, heels down, split open at the bottom in that V, circle back, find your V. Flex back to press down, toes point as you come back up and around. Let's do 2 more like that. And today I want to finish with our Peter Pan, so our stag. Okay, 1 more. And then next time your legs are up at the ceiling, draw them down so that they're just hovering over your foot bar. They're kind of on the diagonal. We've still got our feet in a V, heels together. Now, we're going to take one leg. Let's go camera leg, go straight out to the side as the other leg bends. And then we push our heels back low over the foot bar, over the springs. And then we repeat, but we go the opposite way. So it's kind of like your Peter Pan flying. And then back in. You can do the hands and the sound effects if you want. So again, a little bit like our arm sequence at the start of class, it's a little bit of brain-body coordination here. So if it's taking you a little bit to get that coordination, they don't have to be huge. Little movements out to the side to get it going. Good. And then once you have found your rhythm and you feel like you've got your flow, try and make them as big as your body would like to today. So beautiful, beautiful big active inner thigh stretch here. Okay, let's do 1 more each side. We're almost done. Joining your heels together, knees wide, bring your feet into your butt. Maybe holding on to those short loops or your ropes. Just have a little rock side to side, maybe even hands onto your knees. If you know you like your wide split stretch, you can take your legs out to the side, little rock side to side. That is not my thing. And then when you're ready, rolling yourselves on up. You, my friends, are all done for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.